Oh, greetings once again. My name's Marc, or Mookie, if you will. We are 88.5, the SoCal Sound. Please know we are listener-supported public radio serving Los Angeles and Orange County. If you're not a subscribing member, please join us at thesocalsound.org. Got some live music in our studio today from Owen Youngs. So let's get into the music right off the bat, and then we'll talk right here in the studio. And again, this is 88.5, the SoCal Sound.
Got a memory to amputate, digging for the Novocaine, looking for some relief. Doctor of ontology took some morning out of me, like he was pulling teeth. And I don't know why I keep losing time. The sun was high until I blinked. Look up, it's later than you think. Got a finger to my wrist again, thrumming underneath the skin. You're singing begin now. Can you point me to a simple thing, loosen up my suffering? Because I don't know how. And I don't know why I keep losing time. The sun was high until I blinked. Look up, it's later than you think. Ooh, flattening the parallax. Ooh, numbing out behind the glass. Waiting till the feelings pass. Way down in the mirror screen, nothing got a hold of me. Turn me inside out. Finally resurfacing, I mostly don't know where I've been or what I thought about. And I don't know why I keep losing time. The sun was high until I blinked. Look up, it's later than you. I don't know why I keep losing time. The sun was high until I blinked. Look up, it's later than you think. Look up, it's later than you think.
There you go. I got the vinyl right here. The record's called Avalanche. It's available right now. Owen Youngs in studio. That was a great live version of It's Later Than You Think, and that's a song that our listeners are familiar with because we've been playing it for several weeks now.
Thank you for relentlessly disseminating my sonic message to your devoted listenership.
Oh, of course. The song that we just played, or that you just played, it came to us at a time where there were a lot of heavy hitters coming out with new music, right? And it was like Foo Fighters and Peter Gabriel and Pretenders
My
and
contemporaries.
yeah, I guess you could say that. And then the song from Owen Youngs came through, and we were like, we just have to share this with people. People need to know who this musician is, and they need to hear this song. Now, you've been at it for, quite some time, but you're relatively new to us. I mean, and again, JennyOwenYoungs.com is the website, and you've been putting out records since what, about 2007 or something, right?
That'd be it, yeah.
And originally from where?
Beautiful New Jersey, the unsung Garden State.
It's nice to be back in Southern California, where you spent a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's always good to be back. I lived here for 5 years, and it's just there are so many inarguably great things about being here, which are heightened now that I'm not here 100% of the time.
Right.
So when I visit, I'm like, yes.
When you relocated to SoCal that one time, what was the reason? To pursue music or just to get on the West Coast?
So I moved here in 2016 because, largely prompted by how much writing I was doing. I had made a few records. I had done a zillion loops of the country in a van and gone to Europe on tour a bunch of times and was just kind of like a little burnt out. And so I started doing co-writing sessions, and I was coming here so often for like weeks at a time that I was like, I guess I could just move to LA.
Co-writing with who?
Well, I started out doing a bunch with Dan Wilson, who I know you guys love. Everyone loves Dan. He's the best. I started out in the co-writing world doing a joint venture publishing deal, co-pub deal with him and a publishing company called Big Deal. And I did a lot of writing with Dan, and then a lot of writing with a bunch of people who are published by the same company. And, you know, it's like music publishers are like, you know, the great ones are like amazing matchmakers, and they just want to like put you with people that they think you'll have a good time with.
Right.
And I was having like a really good time. So I was like, what if I was just in LA all the time doing this a whole bunch more?
Yeah.
So I came here.
So you basically set your career, solo career aside to collaborate with other artists and write for other artists as well, right?
Write for other artists, write to pitch for film and television, that kind of stuff. Just like a whole bunch of making stuff.
I was reading, you linked up with Shungudzo, who we absolutely love here.
Shrips.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There's one song that she put out. It's a good day to fight the system. And that song will withstand the test of time. We'll play it forever here, you know. And then you struck gold with a track with Panic at the Disco, that multiple platinum, you know, we're talking about.
Bless, Long May It Rain.
Amazing, right?
That was totally nuts, totally nuts, and amazing. Which, yeah, like that all sounds like really fun, right? Like a cool bunch of things to be focusing on while taking a little bit of time away from touring and making records. Yeah.
Well, let's get back into the music. You did bring another musician with you, John Mark Nelson, who it appears that you've worked together for a while now, even put out a full record together. Is that right?
We've done about a zillion things together. I'm always luring him into my den of song and iniquity. We made a collaborative instrumental album called From the Forest Floor that came out early, like in May of this year.
Right.
Yeah, but we've worked on a bunch. We've done a ton of writing together, and we've recorded some of my songs together as well. And he's the best.
Well, let's get into it. It's a version of Avalanche. It's the title track of the brand new record. Jenny Owen Youngs in studio. As we tape this, you got the Moroccan Lounge this evening in SoCal, and then I think in 2024 you're hitting the UK again. With Milk Carton Kids.
For sure.
Amazing.
So pumped.
All right, this is 88.5, the SoCal Sound.
What I know is that I'm good at getting on, then getting right back off the hook, making plans for someone else. But every book I've ever held rewrites itself. I get worn out on my favorite cycle, where I do something dumb and try to survive it. When I try to say the things I can, it comes out like an avalanche. How else do I prove that I adore you? Something about my savage heart that wants to tear your world apart, stitch it all right back together for you. What you do just for me is rake yourself across the coals that I can't see. You'd never ask for me to prove, you just know I do the very same for you. I get spit out facing problems sideways, and I dig my fingers into the good things. When I try to say the things I can, it comes out like an avalanche. How else do I prove that I adore you? Something about my savage heart that wants to tear your world apart, stitch it all right back together for you, for you. Got plans for you. Used to worry I was a goner, wanted just what I wanted, scraping down at the bottom that I'd never dig out. When I try to say the things I can, it comes out like an avalanche. How else do I prove that I adore you? Something about my savage heart that wants to tear your world apart, stitch it all right back together for you, for you. Got plans for you, for you. Got plans for you.
There you go. The song Avalanche, the title track of the brand new record. It's out right now. Jenny Owen Youngs is in studio here. It seems like you are a person for the people. You know, you got the Patreon account, which, man, when I talk to musicians who have that, some of them take it really, really seriously. They're always creating and they're always sort of giving back to their Patreons. What do you call those people?
Patrons.
Patrons. Oh,
If you please.
That makes more sense. Are you incredibly active on there? And I thought that the tier of donations was quite clever. There's the tiger shark.
Yeah.
There's the whale shark.
Sure.
And there's the megalodon.
Yes.
Yeah, amazing.
You know, special thanks to Jason Statham for bringing much needed visibility to the megalodon. Previously, a very overlooked, enormous prehistoric shark, but...
Are you speaking of a movie?
Yeah. The Meg, and more recently, The Meg 2. I wouldn't, but you could.
Okay. Fair enough. So are you incredibly active on there, and what sort of things do you provide for your patrons?
Well, in between the time I used to put a couple records out on Network, and many moons ago, and then I did a lot of self-releasing before Avalanche came out on Yep Rock, and in between there, I was doing like just everything I make, every song that I record, kind of like pushing things out that way. So there was like a free-flowing exchange of music. Exchange? I guess it was kind of one way. But now that I'm back on a label, that's like a little more squiggly. So we're like getting into the behind-the-scenes stuff. We're getting into the making of and the demos and the work tapes. And my personal favorite thing, which I've dubbed Jenny Peace Theater, is a monthly group watch where we all get on Discord together. And we simultaneously press play on a film of my choosing. And then we get to talk about it while we watch it. And that is a real hoot. It doesn't have a lot to do with, my music per se, but that's kind of nice too, to enjoy something that's not just about, me.
Jenny Peace Theater, are you like doing funny quips, little commentary throughout the film?
I'm trying to keep up with my constituency who are sharp and hilarious. It's, they make the viewing experience just really special. And
it's telling me you have a smart fan base.
They're funny.
Yeah.
I'm scared of them. You know what I mean? I'm like, do they think I'm cool? I mean, I know technically they're here and also they paid to be here, but do they really think I'm cool?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we think you're cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure to meet you today. Again, JennyOwenYoungs.com is the website. Deep purple vinyl is what this record
Yes.
is printed on, and it's a gorgeous color. Your formative years, real quick, you discovered the Beatles early on, perhaps?
Sure, you've maybe heard of them.
Yeah, they have a new song out. I don't know if you heard it. It's called Now and Then. What do you think about that? No comment?
Commentless.
Okay, fair enough. And then in your, as you got a little bit older, what sort of musicians were you gravitating to?
When I was like late high school, I was like very into Elliott Smith and Sleater-Kinney. Those were like my.
Sleater-Kinney just released a new song too.
Tremendous. I miss Janet.
I think we all miss Janet.
But it's cool when artists evolve and change, and that is a beautiful thing.
Sure.
What else is good? You ever have that thing where somebody asks you like what you like, and your mind,
Dude, every
previously overflowing with
Every
options,
day.
immediately empties?
Every day. Yeah, it's like, what music are you listening to?
What's music?
Like, you're a comedian? Go tell a joke. Go ahead, tell a joke. You might joke around a bit, Jenny Owen Youngs, on one of your various podcasts.
I try.
You're a podcaster, and you're killing it right now. Into the Jennyverse is one.
Sure.
Veronica Mars Investigations is another, and of
Sure.
course, Buffering.
Buffering the Vampire Slayer, my beautiful, and now that we've finished Buffy, I guess the larger sort of verse there is Buffering a Rewatch Adventure, as I desperately try to remember all of the names of my various podcasts. We're on to the X-Files now, which is very exciting.
Okay, gotcha.
We've dubbed that like sort of a sub-pod the X-Files because my main podcasting partner is my ex-wife. So we're just, we're living the progressive dream of friendship after divorce and continued business partnership.
Amazing.
Talking about Scully and Mulder,
Yeah. Well,
What could
at
go
least
wrong?
we'll always have the X-Files. And then Veronica Mars Investigations, that goes without saying. It's all about
Veronica
dissecting
Mars, baby,
each episode
yeah.
of Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
And then Into the Jennyverse.
Into the Jennyverse really is just a micro pod and really started as a Patreon initiative where my friend Rishikesh Hirway makes this amazing podcast called Song Exploder, where he kind of like interviews bands and gets them to tell the stories behind the songs, and then he kind of like also obtains the stems and kind of like showcases the individual sort of like threads of the tapestry of a piece of music. So I basically, for fun, privately and with his blessing, recorded some interviews with my collaborators and kind of like song exploded myself.
Yes.
Just for fun, just for a good time. Not for any devious or underhanded ripping off of my friend in any way.
Right.
Just, recreationally.
So you song exploded yourself.
Yes.
There's a joke there, but I'm not that clever. In fact,
Right.
Tristan and Matt, these guys might have turned me on to that podcast. Never heard of it, or never listened quite yet, though. Again, Jenny Owen Youngs in studio. We're going to get into one more song before we kind of let you go here. Last question for you, while it's top of mind, the new record Avalanche.
Yes.
Is there, in fact, sort of a unifying theme? What does an avalanche really mean? I guess is the question.
Right. Okay. So, for me, the song Avalanche, not usually a big title track person, but
Yeah.
it's just what felt correct.
Uh-huh.
But there's sort of like a couple of different things going on. For the song, the avalanche that is referenced in the song is kind of like the buildup of unsaid things that eventually, inevitably, will sort of like burst forth, whether you want them to or not, right? But then when I was thinking about the body of songs all together, and all of the things, this is like the first proper full-length Jenny songs album that I've put out in over a decade, which is a long time. And I did a lot of things in that decade, right? Like I moved across the country, I moved back across the country, I got married, I got divorced, I fell in love again, and I got remarried. And all of those sort of like intense sort of like tectonic plates, right, have been like shifting around in my life and creating all of this sort of like disruption and like new geography and like the decimation of old geography and all of that. And to me, like when I was starting to look at the songs and all of the things that are within the songs, it felt like a different sort of angle on the concept of Avalanche, like separate from the song. It's this sort of like this incredibly powerful force that you have no control over that like irreversibly changes the landscape that it impacts. And I felt like, I felt like a really well wrung out dish rag by the time I got to like the end of writing these songs.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like my topography is, completely different than it was 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. Things are just completely different, and I'm happy for that, for all of the great forces that came together to make that the case, and that is why the record is called Avalanche. How did I do on a scale of 1 to 10? Do you feel like that was
We'll go back to the tape after this, and then we'll critique you.
Okay, cool.
No,
Thank you.
no,
Looking forward to your notes.
I think that was great. Again, JennyOwenYoungs.com is the website. It's a pleasure to meet you, and again, this is the first time we've ever really heard your music, and I'm sorry to say that because you've been putting out music for a while now.
Oh, what if I only just got okay?
Well, now
possible.
I'm going to do the deep dive and listen to some previous releases now. But we're happy to have you now.
Thank you so much for playing the song and supporting the record. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. This is the SoCal Sound. Want to high five or maybe fist bump, something like that? All right. Oh, again, Everglades is the song right now here on the SoCal Sound.
All right.
I know what I said, but I was wrong. I was wrong. You left when I said that. Now you're gone. I was wrong. Couldn't tell you what trip I was on when I was in the Everglades. When I was in the Everglades, caught a lot of shade. I can't remember everything. I tell the truth, but in between I say a lot of things I don't mean. Don't know what you read, but it's a lie. It's a lie. Don't know what they said, but it's a lie. It's a dirty, rotten lie. This mark won't wash away. I don't know why. When I was in the Everglades, when I was in the Everglades, caught a lot of shade. I can't remember everything. Tell the truth, but in between I say a lot of things I don't mean. Got whiplash, trying to look back in the sawgrass. What an awful mess, hit me fast. just like glass I shattered. Doesn't matter anyway. Scrambling to get your story straight. When I was in the Everglades, when I was in the Everglades, when I was in the Everglades, when I was in the Everglades.